Hi everybody, Dan Bickford here, and it's time for the next episode of Carolina Rides. We've been having a lot of fun the past several weeks talking with people about things going on in the area automotively, and we have got a great car show that we're going to be talking about that's happening in the weeks ahead. We'll get to that here in a moment. First, however, I do want to remind you we have a social media presence. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, or on YouTube. Not only do all these episodes air at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on WSPA Plus, the streaming channel, but we do put these up on YouTube as well. And if you've got any questions, comments, concerns, or even better, ideas about maybe some stories we can do in the future, feel free to let us know. On the social channels, Facebook and Instagram in particular, you will also find that up there in the days before some of the car shows on weekends, we will if we've got them, we will put up and post some flyers for some of the events that are happening across the area. So if you've got anything along that line that you would like to forward to us at one point or another so we can talk about it, feel free. We may not necessarily do a show on it or have the chance to, but at least we can put it up on the social media channels. Now that I've got the pleasantries out of the way, let's talk with today's guest. I welcome John Coates with Operation Grow Spartanburg. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
What we're going to do here is we're going to be talking about in a little bit about the Project Horsepower Auto Show that's coming up. But first, tell me a little bit about Operation Grow Spartanburg.
So we are in year 4. Started as a Facebook group. It was a way for us to assist with marketing for local businesses post-COVID. And once we started up, we had a lot of interest and started hosting a lot of events that are all community driven, funded by the community, hosted, including a lot of different businesses in the hosting, from our community. And, for example, the car show, we have the car show is sponsored by 3, it's hosted by 3 local businesses, and we host it at the local college, and all proceeds benefit a local nonprofit. So that's kind of how we operate things.
What are some of the other events that you have done that Operation Grow has done?
Oh man, we actually had a food truck takeover in March. It's in Cowpens. We bring out anywhere from 30 to 40 food trucks, and this year we saw somewhere along the lines of 4,000 people. All the food trucks offer $5 menu items, so everyone can participate. We have bounce houses, live music, the whole 9 yards. It's a very fun event. We have the car show. We have vendor markets. We host supply drives for local nonprofits, and then we also jump in and help other people host events as well.
What was the inspiration behind Operation Grow? You mentioned about post-COVID trying to get things going. Did you kind of set out to do this on your own? Was this modeled after something else that was done in another community somewhere, maybe a combination of both?
So funny thing is, right before Operation Grow Spartanburg started, I had spent a good chunk of time traveling the country, and I traveled the entire border of the United States, and going to all these small towns and kind of similar towns to Spartanburg, and watched what they were doing, watched what worked, and came back and tried to replicate a little bit of each piece that I found.
What are some of the goals going forward with Operation Grow? I mean, do you have a specific, other than just kind of promoting what's going on? What is the end game here on this?
Our goal is to develop an entire network of people who understand the value of working together, and see how big of a difference we can actually make in the community.
Now, that's some of your goals there. So you mentioned what's ahead. How did the annual car show become a thing? What was the inspiration to do that?
So we always donate all the money raised from the car show to Halter. Halter is a nonprofit in the area, and I got connected with them, and they work with children through equine services, so they use horses to mediate therapy sessions, essentially. And what better way than to kind of link the two is Project Horsepower, and that's why we chose the name for that. And then also car shows are always fun. They're a family fun event, and I was trying to figure out a way to tie that together to something that the community could bring their families out to, and have a good time.
Do you have your own interest in vehicles? Is that one of the reasons that the car show idea came up?
Honestly, no. However, with that, I do appreciate a nice car, but no, I do not have any vested interest in cars themselves. However, I have met a lot of car enthusiasts through this.
You ever have anything interesting that you've driven yourself that maybe somebody else at some point would have been kind of like, well, I don't know why you're not interested in cars. That's a nice ride.
No, I've driven the same Subaru for almost 10 years.
Okay. Was there, I was about to say, was there an inspiration in terms of a person or anything like that of the people you have met who kind of pointed you in the car show direction with this?
My dad goes to a lot of local car shows. While when I told him I was going to host a car show, he was very excited. But the main goal with the car show at the end of the day was for Halter, and I was trying to figure out a way to, one, raise money for them, two, raise awareness, and also a lot of the kids from Halter get to come to the car shows, and they get to not only see the cars, but I have some people in the crowd who allow them to sit and take pictures in the cars. I have a media team that will take pictures of all the kids and send them back to Halter for their parents and things like that.
How many years have you been doing this for now, the car show anyway?
This is the fourth car show we've done.
Okay, this will be the fourth one. Well, have they all been at Spartanburg Community College, which is where this one is at, or have they kind of moved based on the size of it?
No, we're in the same parking lot we started in.
Okay.
It's at Spartanburg Community College off New Cut Road.
Obviously, with something like this, I mean, the bigger the better, because this just gives you more exposure. It raises more money. I mean, kind of where do you want to go with this as far as the car show and this, with Operation Grow and where we're going in the future?
So I really want to create a regional car show. I want to draw people from. Currently, we have 4 different states that have been represented all 3 years, and people come from. We've seen people from South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. And I want to build it into a regional show because the way I like to market this event and all of our events, we give as much credit to local businesses as we can. We offer a lot of opportunities to jump into these events. So we have 3 sponsors this year. We have Boco Creative Agency, we have MCA Construction and Roofing, and we have Beyond Real Estate. All 3 jumped in and helped sponsor this event to make it all possible. All of the trophies were actually handmade by the students at Spartanburg Community College. The parts for the trophies were donated by First Class Automotive and Performance. And all of the awards at the show all have a monetary value attached to them. So they all have cash prizes, gift cards, and everything else that were also donated, all by local businesses. So with this event, it is for the community, by the community event, 100%.
Awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun. What we're going to do here is we're going to take a very brief break, and when we come back, we're going to kind of dive just headlong into the car show, talk about all the different maybe car classifications, how many people are coming out to this, and we can talk a little bit more about some of the other things, vendor-wise and all of that you will have out there. We will do that coming up here momentarily. Stay with us. Hi everybody, welcome back. We are here to talk, a car show that's coming up to the Spartanburg Community College campus. We welcome back John Coates with Operation Grow Spartanburg. They are kind of putting this show on. And now first off, let's start with the basics. Now, kind of if you've got maybe a 30-second pitch that you can kind of give that's just really quick with the details. If somebody was interested in the show, when, where, what? All
right, so this year it's August 2nd. At Spartanburg Community College off of New Cut Road. Pre-registration is encouraged. Price is $20. 100% of that is donated to Halter. We have 4 different food trucks that will be out on scene. So we'll have barbecue. We'll have Asian food. We'll have homemade lemonades. We'll have ice cream, and we may add some more on as we get closer. Go ahead.
Now, you mentioned the pre-registration. I know that you've got already a bunch of cars kind of lined up and ready to go.
Yes. The last number I saw was somewhere along the lines of 70 cars already registered and ready to go. Every year we see anywhere from 175 to 200 vehicles.
How are you doing in terms of pre-registration in comparison to previous years? Is that 70, is that kind of running a little bit ahead, or is it pretty close to?
It is very ahead. We usually, every year we'll have about 100 pre-registered the day of the event. A lot of people watch the weather. So you have to, that 2 weeks before, that's when registrations start rolling in. So we're very ahead this year.
The cost to register, you mentioned that. Is that the same whether you pre-register or whether you just roll on in the day of?
Day of registration, so if you pay at the gate, it's $30, and that would be $30 cash. However, we want to encourage pre-registrations just because we can guarantee a result and prepare accordingly. But every year we see about half and half, so 100 pre-registrations and 100 day of.
How hectic is it that day of when you start getting that wall of cars? What's that like?
It's very hectic. The Operation Grow Spartanburg team is made of 4 people, so we've organized it in a way to be manageable, and we have different business volunteers that come in with us as well. But it is very hectic. People start showing up. You hear engines coming from a mile away.
Do you have a goal as to how many cars you actually want to see there? Obviously, you'll take what you can fit, but is there, or is it kind of onward and upward? Where are you going with this?
We have options to open up new parking lots at the school. This one maxes out at 200. If we hit 200, it's the parking lot we use currently is full. And so next year the plan is to open up another one, which would open up another 100 spaces.
Let's talk about the cars just a little bit here. Do we have particular? Well, first off, let's start with kind of the overarching thing here. It is a car show. Is there any judging going on here?
Yes, all the judging will be done by the instructors at Spartanburg Community College. We also have sponsor choices. We also have halter choice. We have kids awards. We have all different types of awards for different classes. So it's all encompassing.
What are some of those different classes?
We have everything from best modern, best muscle. We have kids awards. We have rat rod awards. We have bike awards. We have awards organized by decade. So starting at 1940s and going up. Lowrider awards. We have all kinds of stuff. Over 30 awards.
Awesome. I'm glad you mentioned bikes because that's a good sign that this is not just a car show, really. It's just anybody who's a collector and an enthusiast, and you've got a vehicle. This is a place to go.
We have seen a lot of cool vehicles over the years, and we've seen a lot. Unique builds. We've seen a lot of even down to buggies, and we had a UPS driver show up and register one year just to support it. That was cool. But we have a lot of cool different things. This year, I will say that we're seeing a lot of American muscle, a lot of rat rods, a lot of hot rods. So this year is leaning a lot toward the classics and muscle.
Yeah, at least that's with the pre-registration. I mean, day of,
day of's unpredictable.
Yeah, it could be a whole lot of fun. You mentioned some of the award categories. You also mentioned some of the awards. That's a lot of awards to hand out. Now everybody gets one of those, kind of home-built trophies?
No. So the top awards are the homemade custom trophies, or the handmade.
Okay.
They're made by the students at SEC, and they're really, I wish I had one there with me. They're really cool. They've all been sandblasted, painted. They look really nice. And so those are the top awards. Next year, we plan to transition to all trophies made by Spartanburg Community College. That's our goal. And then every registration does also get a custom dash plaque.
Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned the food trucks and some of the vendors. What other groups are going to be there, and what are the types of vendors that are going to be at this event?
All right, so we actually, every year we change every year depending on what we see works and what we see that doesn't work. And this year we actually we don't have many vendors. Our sponsors will be out. They'll be set up with their tents, and then we have 2 nonprofits in the area that we also bring out, and one is the T3C organization, and they do a lot for local kids, provide heartbeat stuffed animals to the parents of children who are in the hospital for certain conditions, and then we also have PJ's Legacy, and that organization was started by Legacy Detail in Bowling Springs. Phil Shoemaker, he does a great job with that. So they're both going to be there.
Yeah, that's cool. I've dealt with Phil in the past. He's a great guy, and it's good to see him and the PJ Legacy Foundation getting involved. What are some of the changes if one went to the show last year, the year before? What would be different this year?
All right, so we've changed kind of the way the day of registration works. We've simplified it, a good bit, and then we're also making improvements to the judging systems. Since when we started this, none of the team had ever hosted a car show, so it's definitely been a learning curve, and so we're getting used to it and starting to explore ways to improve every year. This will be the best year. That's why we have brought on that picture. That's one of our guys on Operation Grow Spartanburg, David. He's the car enthusiast, so he helps a lot with the setup of this show.
Yeah, we're going to scroll through some of these cars now. All of these pictures were taken from last year's show, correct?
I think this was 2024. Yes.
Okay. What have been some of your favorite memories from the previous shows, whether it was a particular car or an event or maybe just a person, or maybe it had to do with one of these charity groups?
So with every event Operation Grow Spartanburg hosts, my favorite part is the community aspect. That's what I do this for. Is when I get to see a bunch of people come out, have a good time, bring their kids. I see a bunch of kids running around, a bunch of kids that, people taking pictures of cars. I'll see drones in the air. People just bring drones and they'll, have drone footage being taken. It's just the community aspect, people enjoying time with their families. That's what I do this for.
Now, you mentioned all the parking for all the assorted cars. Obviously, there's going to be people who just may want to go view this for themselves. Maybe they're not entering something.
100% free.
How set up are you for that? Obviously, I mean, is there plenty of parking for them?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The college allows us to use every parking lot on their campus. So we have parking for everyone. I mean, and we do have a lot of students as well from Spartanburg Community College. They'll come out and check out the cars.
Do we have any students who are I guess, shall we say, are really interested in automotive work that you've seen come across, and have they tried to pitch in or wanted to pitch in?
Over the years, we're starting to bring Spartanburg Community College, deeper and deeper into the show, because the first year it was just a car show hosted at the college. And now I'm working to get them involved and try to bring the college into the show and try to tie all the ends together.
Well, one of the things that kind of points that out too, you had mentioned that the trophies that are. What was the inspiration behind? Hey, let's go ahead and build these things.
It was one night. It was one of those 2 a.m. nights, and I text a buddy of mine who owns First Class Automotive and Performance, and I asked him, I was like, how many spare parts do you have laying around that you just get rid of? And he said, I have a ton of internal parts that I'd get rid of at the end of the day. And so then the next day I called Spartanburg Community College, and I was like, asking if their students needed a project, and let's make some trophies. I was like, I'll have them dropped off, and we had them all dropped off, and they did great. I mean, they made some fantastic trophies.
What have been, over the past several years, as you've walked around and been a part of all of this, what have been your a handful of favorite cars?
That's tough. We had a Bronco out there last year that was really nice. I want to say it was 1983. I think it was really nice. But we see so many cars. I mean, and over the years, it's always different. The spread is always different. We see a lot of people return, and that's one of our questions on our registration if you've been with us before. So I try to keep track of how many people are returning and how many people are new. So yeah, there's been a ton. The hearse in this picture is really cool. The guy that owns that, he's an Inman.
Yeah, I've actually seen that at a couple shows locally myself. Now, you had mentioned previously, I mean, you drive a Subaru, you've had it for a while. You may not be the biggest car guy, but I mean, you've seen through, and I'm just going through, in fact, there's that hearse coming up again. You've seen things like the Ferraris and the older pickup trucks and, you know, the Vipers, and, you know, there have been Corvettes and all that, Mustangs. If somebody said, hey, you get a car, it doesn't matter. Price is not an object. Congratulations, you've won it. Is there anything, whether it's a new classic or an older classic, that should be like, you know, I wouldn't mind having one of those?
I'm really fond of the Broncos. You know, that is one of my favorites, and we see them occasionally. But like I said, cars really, I don't have as much of a passion for cars as I do for community. And I do have in one of these photos is, you know, I told you my dad was a car enthusiast, and he has a 1953 Chevy half-ton. And one day I'll get that. But, you know, that's his truck. He's working on it right now.
Yeah, the trucks and the Broncos, especially over the past decade, have become a much larger thing in the collector car community. And a lot of that simply has to do with the fact that just in the normal car world, that's what a lot of people are now have. That's what a lot of people have been kind of even growing up with. So when you think about things like that, oh, you think about that 4x4, you think about that truck or something like that. And we've seen more and more of, you know, vehicles like that popping up at shows like this.
We and one cool thing about this show is we see a lot of car clubs the Mystery Machine in the background was cool. They were there last year. Mm-hmm. I think they've been there 2 years in a row. But we see a lot of car clubs, and it's pretty cool watching them come in, because they come down the frontage road in front of Spartanburg Community College, and like I said, you can hear them coming. And just in groups of 5, 10, 15 of them, you know.
Where do you see, again, I think I already kind of touched, there's one of the bikes, by the way. I think I touched on this before, but let's kind of repeat this one more time. Where does Project Horsepower go from here?
Right now, you know, with the size of Project Horsepower and what we do every year, I am happy, 100% happy with it. However, the more we grow, the more we can benefit the community. The more money we can raise, you know. And this little girl right here, I remember her name was Chevy. She won one of the awards last year, and she will be back. No, this isn't Chevy's. This is Daniel Petty's. But Chevy won the Kids Award, and she's coming back, and Daniel's bringing this back. So
her last name was Petty?
No, the one that so Daniel Petty's daughter. Okay. Owns this one.
Okay, I was mentioning the last name Petty because that looks like Petty Blue from the racer Richard Petty. That's kind of roughly the same color he had in his race cars, which is why I wanted to point that out. It's just like, that's kind of interesting. One more time. Let's kind of cut through the extraneous stuff here. Just give us one more time that, you know, elevator pitch for the Project Horsepower Car Show.
So Project Horsepower is, in my opinion, I'm a little biased, but in my opinion, one of the best car shows in the area, just by the amount of how many people in the community jump in to make it happen. None of this would be possible without the community backing us, and it grows every year. Definitely pre-register. That not only saves you some money, but it helps us out as well. And in the parking lot that we're in, all the pre-registration spots are shaded, and a majority of the parking lot is shaded. So, you know, August can get a little hot, but, you know, there is shade. It's just a fun event, and if you just want to come out, you don't have a car, it's free. It's a family-friendly event. Great food trucks, great dessert trucks, like handmade lemonade. It's awesome.
Yeah, we've got the flyer up here. I just noticed too. Live music. Who's out there? What do you got?
Well, we're actually we have had live music in the past. This year, we're actually having a DJ that takes requests. It allows us to not only cater to what people want to hear, but also we've noticed that kids like to request music, and so putting a DJ in place that takes those requests. Mm-hmm. Allows, we can play music for, if your kid wants to hear a certain song, we might be able to make it happen.
Well, that'll be fun.
And we will also have face painting for kids as well. That's not listed on the flyer, but
Okay. Well, that'll be a lot of fun that first time that everybody's at the car show and then suddenly you hear Baby Shark. That'll grab everybody's attention really quickly. John, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out and joining me today. I hope the car show is a success. Most of all, I hope the weather behaves.
It's unpredictable right now, but fingers are crossed. Yeah.
I know somebody. I'll see what we can do about that. Once again, John, thanks for coming out. And I do want to point out one more time to everybody that we are up on the social networks and we have the ability to talk to you and for you to talk to us. Of course, this will be posted up there. Also, when I have some previews that I post for future guests, you'll hear about it on the Facebook and the Instagram pages first, and occasionally I've put up a couple quick YouTube videos having to do with a future guest. I've got the next couple kind of already figured out, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed, especially if you like cars. It's going to be a good time with the next set of guests that we've got coming up on Carolina Rides. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Until next time, drive safely. See you later.